What's going on, guys? My name is Monatui, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys our GBA Season 6 Week 3 match versus John, aka Pokemon. Like I said in my team builder, if for whatever reason you are not subbed to him, please go check out his channel. He makes great content. He is a great guy. I've looked up to him for a very long time. However, just because I like him does not mean I am not going to destroy him this match. So, I have an entire team builder dedicated to my team. However, just for a quick rundown, we have our lead Escavalier with Spikes and Protect, we have our Tank Chomp, we have our Mixed Defensive Mandibuzz, we have our Life Orb Emboar, we have our Physically Defensive Amoonguss, and we have our Choice Banded Azumarill. Looking at John's team, he's got his Landorus Therian, he's got his Escavalier, Latios, Reuniclus, Gastrodon, and his Mega Lopunny. Looking at the structure of his team, I'm thinking that's going to be a defensive Landorus, probably going to bring the same Regenerator Assault Vest set on his Reuniclus that John likes to bring. It definitely makes sense in this match so that he can take hits from my Porygon Z, because he really does not have a lot, even though I did not bring it this week. And then we will see what everything else is. But looking at his team and looking at my team, I think he's going to lead with his Mega Lopunny. He get a relatively free Fake Out versus anything except for the except for the Garchomp, which he could probably hit me with an Ice Punch. Even though I will be able to take it, it will be doing massive damage to me and prevent me from doing a lot. Professor Elm is playing Overwatch, thank you. But without further ado, without any other interruptions, let us just get into the match. Now, once again, I'm going to be leading with my Escavalier. Even if he leads with his Lopunny, I have the Protect to block the Fake Out, and to then either fire off a Focus Blast, or to just start setting up my Spikes. So as you can see, I'm going to lead with my Escavalier, as he does lead with his Mega Lopunny. And I doubt he's going to go for the sub turn 1 if he has it. I think he's just going to want to go for a Fake Out. He knows this thing gets Final Gambit. He wants to weaken that by lowering my HP. However, I am going to go for a Protect, and this allows me to block the Fake Out very easily. Now, like I said in my team builder, he is going to be scared of this thing. It could have the Offensive Focus Blast to knock it out, it could have the Final Gambit to knock it out, and he doesn't want to lose his Lopunny. So I am going to take advantage of this and just set up my layer of Spikes. And the only way he can get rid of them is with his Latios if he is carrying Defog on it. However, I do not have great switch into this thing, but I do have a Tank Chomp, which can take pretty much any hit this thing wants to go for. He goes for a knockoff, and I was very close to going into my Emboar because I resist all the stabs, I resist the knockoff. However, it was a very not that it's a very good reason, but I'm glad I didn't, and you'll see later on in the match. So anyway, he's going to do a little bit of damage to me, going to take the Rocky Helmet, going to take the Rough Skin, and this is a very good opportunity to set up my Stealth Rock. So this is already good. Turn 4, I believe this is, I already have my Rocks up and my Spikes, so his team is going to be getting worn down. However, he is now going to retaliate by getting up his own Rocks, in which I have no way to remove them. However, what I can do is just get a Toxic off on this Landorus. Now, what I decide to do here is thinking he's going to go for the Earthquake, potentially, or potentially switch out. I don't think he's going to go for the U-turn because he doesn't want to take Rough Skin damage, is I'm going to go out into my Physically Defensive Amoonguss, because I'm still thinking at this point, even though he outsped my Garchomp, that he is relatively bulky to switch into my Emboar. However, he actually goes for the Gravity here, likely predicting my my Mandibuzz to want to come in, because this actually does not have Stone Edge. He can just hit this he can hit this neutrally with Earthquake. So he's going to go for the Gravity, and then he is going to U-turn out. And as you can see here, that's not going to do a lot of damage. However, he is going to gain a little bit of initiative, and he is going to go out into his JJ Redick, the Latios. And I kind of predicted either this or the Escavalier to want to come in with Overcoat. He also takes Spikes damage because of the Gravity, which is funny. And I go for the Foul Play. And unfortunately for him, I do get a crit. In the long run, I'm not entirely sure how much this mattered, but it definitely matters for the moment, because he is essentially forced to recover here. Because if I make some sort of a switch, or if I attack him or whatever, he'll die. He can't switch out because he will die 2 rocks on the way in, so he has to recover immediately, and I can take advantage of this and go out into my Mandibuzz. And what's very nice about this is he's not going to want to take a Foul Play, he's not going to want to take a potential knockoff. So what I can do is just go right for the U-turn on this thing and gain myself initiative. No matter what he goes out into, I will be able to get a response out for it. So he is going to go out into his Gale the Snail, the Gastrodon, as like I said, I am going to just go for the U-turn, gain myself initiative, and I'm just going to switch out into my Amoonguss, because this thing cannot do anything to me. Even if it has Ice Beam, I'll be able to take it very well. However, I'm going to go into my Amoonguss, take the Rocks damage, get Black Sludge, and I noticed that he does not have leftovers. So the first thing that comes to my mind is Rindoberry Mirror Coat. I know it's kind of specific, but I know this thing gets Mirror Coat. I know he's probably going to want to run it. No item. He's either Rocky Helmet or Rindoberry. I'm just going to be safe and put him to sleep first. I figured he wouldn't go Escavalier because he'd want me to go for Giga Drain and then hit me with the Mirror Coat. And him staying in kind of confirms that, because why would you stay in with a Gastrodon on your Moongus? So he kind of has to have it, and there it is. He goes for the Mirror Coat, as I actually kind of predict him to switch out into something like his Escavalier again, but it all worked out anyway. And here, he's going to go back out into his Latios, and I'm figuring, okay, he hard went into this. He's either predicting a Giga Drain, or he's got the Safety Goggles. He's got the Safety Goggles. Very good prep on his part, and I unfortunately cannot stay in. This thing is going to do a lot of damage to me, and the only thing I can really safely switch in is my Mandibuzz. Hopefully if he goes for the Safe Play, goes for a Psychic move, I'll be able to take it, obviously because I'm immune. However, he ends up just recovering, wanting to keep his Latios healthy, which is fine because on the following turn I can do the absolute same. I can just go for a Roost on whatever he wants to do. Unless he is Life Orb with T-Bolt, I will be able to take it, which he's not Life Orb because we just lost Safety Goggles, so that's very good. I can take any hit at this point, but he goes for the Calm Mind, and that's a little bit scary because a +1 Latios is a very dangerous, very scary Latios. However, being able to get back to full HP, I'm going to be able to take any hit. So he's going to go for the +1 Thunderbolt, but because I am heavily invested in Spadef, I will be able to take this relatively well, and I can weaken this thing heavily with the Foul Play. And that is going to do massive damage. That allows me to knock it out relatively easily after my Mandibuzz goes down on the following turn, because I can't switch into this, unfortunately. He's going to go for the Draco Meteor. I guess in case I went out into Garchomp, but there wasn't too much of a reason to do anything else than Thunderbolt, but that doesn't really matter. He does connect, and I am just going to lose my Mandibuzz, which is a bit unfortunate, but Mandibuzz was largely there just for this Latios. Was there for the Reuniclus as well, but I have ways to deal with that anyway. So I'm going to go out into my Escavalier. I definitely outspeed. I just click Bug Buzz, and I'm going to be able to knock out this Latios from where it is at, and that is really nice because Latios is one of the biggest threats to my team, and it is gone, and I will happily make the trade of Mandibuzz for Latios. So now he's going to send out his Deli, the Escavalier, and I do not want to take a hit from this thing. Escavalier puts in a lot of offensive work on his team. Now that Landorus is poisoned, he doesn't have a great switch into it. Obviously, I Focus Blast for the low punny, and I can outspeed it. So I'm just going to go back out into my Tank Chomp and eat up this Mega Horn, even though it still does massive damage. I'm thinking at this point it's banded. I think it was actually Assault Vest, and I just missed my calcs somehow, or messed up my calcs somehow, but regardless, I predict the switch out into Landorus, or he's going to stay in with his Escavalier, whatever he wants to do, and I'm just going to fire off a Fire Blast, because it'll hit pretty much anything that wants to come in. He doesn't have a resist anymore, except for the Gastrodon, which I can potentially Dragon Tail out. Gonna get a crit with the Fire Blast. That is also unfortunate, because with the poison up, he's going to get worn down even faster, because I did crit him. And here, this might look weird, but at this point, I'm still thinking this is kind of a defensive Landorus. Like, you know, I felt like he kind of needed it for my physical offense, but he's gonna go for the Earthquake. And, ow. That does a lot of damage. Now I know he's not banded, and I know he's not Life Orb, so the only thing that comes to mind is that he is offensive rocks with Earth Plate. And that definitely was a very good prep on his part, because ow, that hurts everything. So I'm like, okay, Moongus, you can't do what I thought you could do at the moment. Just Garchomp, you're going to have to go down for me. Professor Elm, you've played Overwatch like 8 times already in this video. Thank you, I appreciate it, but go back to gathering in data about Pokemon. Anyway, Garchomp is going to go down, which is fine. The Escavalier is weakened. The Mega Lopunny I have offensive checks for, being my Escavalier and my Zoomerl. But regardless, he is now going to go back out into his Mega Lopunny as I pull the switch out into my Escavalier. And once again, this is okay for me. I can block the Fake Out with Protect. And because he does have Fake Out, I'm assuming he's going to have Fake Out return Fighting move and then Ice Punch, because he wants to hit the Garchomp, may even have Toxic over Ice Punch, so he can hit the how many times he can play. Anyway, here I'm gonna go for the Focus Blast. Sorry, I got a little distracted, and it lives on like 2%, and he's gonna be able to knock me out with Return, which is really unfortunate, because if I knock this out, Escavalier kind of just not clean swept through him, but it just really hurt like the rest of his team. But regardless, I can now go out into my Azumarill and just pick this thing off with Aqua Jet, and at this point, with this thing gone, My Embor is looking really, really good. I outspeed the Escavalier and I OHKO it. I do massive damage to the Reuniclus no matter what set it is, and I can knock out the Gastrodon with Superpower at this point, after the rocks and after the spikes damage, and even then I have the HP Grass if I break the Rindo with my Amoonguss later on. So now I'm going to switch out my Azumarill. I am Choice Banded, and obviously he's going to have the Storm Drain. So I'm going to go out into my Amoonguss, which can take this thing on relatively well, and he is just going to go for the Recover here, which is totally fine because I can weaken this thing again. There are going to be a few mind games that go on here. I could Spore as he goes into Escavalier, or I could Spore now, put this to sleep, Spore potentially put the Reuniclus to sleep, assuming it's not also Safety Goggles or Overcoat for whatever reason. But here, as you can see, I'm able to put Gale the Snail to sleep, which I think is very good, because now I can just pop this thing's Rindo Berry, and unless he wakes up and Mirror Coats, I'll be able to take it out anyway. And then once this is gone, I can put the Reuniclus to sleep. However, he's going to go out into his Blobby, the Reuniclus, and as you're going to see, holy shit, it's fucking Magikarp. I know that's... Yeah, I'm just going to pause it real quick. Screen's going to look weird for a second, but I know that's probably a weird thing to say, because you usually see Magikarp on Reuniclus, but John loves his Regenerator Assault Vest Reuniclus. He just loves Regenerators, a Regenerator Reuniclus in general. Sometimes with Rocky Helmet, which I thought he might have brought for my Embor, but this was done very well on his part. Allow his Gastrodon to get put to sleep, go out into his Reuniclus, and as you're going to see in a second here, I cannot stay in because I can't touch this thing. Foul Play is going to do absolutely nothing to him. I obviously can't put him to sleep because I have the Gale the Snail put to sleep, so I'm going to go out into my Azumarill thinking I can take any hit. But as you're going to see, he is actually the Trick Room variant, and this is horrifying because this can OHKO the rest of my team, and unless I kill it, it's going to run through me. And he has Thunder, which I'm dead. I'm not going to live that. He's going to get a crit here. It doesn't matter. If I were Assault Vest, that would have mattered, but I am Choice Banded. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead like 8 times over. And now, the only way I can win this game now is if I kill with Sucker Punch. I didn't know the roll, but I go for the Sucker Punch. As you can see, we hit it obviously, and we knock out the Reuniclus. And that essentially just wins me the game. That play right there determined the outcome of this match. If he lived, he killed my Embor, and then he knocked out the rest of my Pokemon. The rest of my Pokemon being Amoonguss. So, very grateful that I was able to knock it out. I'll give some more information on that in a bit. He's going to go out into his Gastrodon. Trick Room is still up, so he will actually be able to outspeed me. Can't knock it out. So I'm just going to make the safe play into my Amoonguss. I can live a Banded Megahorn from the Escavalier anyway, and my Amoonguss from where it's at. So I think, okay, let me just hit this with a Giga Drain. Or no, I go for Foul Play just to stall out the Trick Room a little bit, as he's going to wake up and go for Mirror Coat. However, obviously that's not going to work because it only works on special attacks. As you can see here, Trick Room ends, he's got no way to set them back up, so I just go for the Giga Drain. He is the Rindo Berry. Even if he has Mirror Coat, that's fine. I win the game with my Embor at this point. I can knock out the Gastrodon, and then I can knock out the Escavalier, both with my Embor. And as you can see, he's going to go for the Mirror Coat. I'm like, alright, I'll let this go down, I'll win 1-0. But Amoonguss actually is able to tank the hit, which I thought was kind of surprising, but kind of makes sense. I do have a lot of HP. The Giga Drain actually did not do too much with the Rindo Berry, but here he's going to go for the Scald. He cannot knock me out. He does burn me, which does not matter in the whole grand scheme of things. I'm going to go for the Giga Drain and easily knock out the Gastrodon, and now all he has left is his very weakened Escavalier. So the Snail, the Slug, whatever it is going to go down, and now you'll see in a second I take burn damage, doesn't matter, I'm able to hang on, and now he is going to send out his Escavalier, which, like I said, is very weakened at this point. Even though I am burned, I will still be able to knock this thing out with the Foul Play easily, and even if he's like Custat Berry and kills me, I have my Embor in the back to kill it, but that is not going to happen. We're going to go for the Foul Play, and we knock out the Escavalier, defeating John of the New Orleans Pelippers, and that is just... this game, man, Jesus. This game, I felt like up until the point where Reuniclus came in, I was ahead just a little bit, and then once he went for Trick Room on his Reuniclus, I could have lost that game. Now, there will be, hopefully, I'll remember to edit this in this time, there should be 2 calcs that pop up on screen. Those are the calcs for how much an uninvested Giga Drain does to his Reuniclus set. Should do like 20 to 23%, 20 to 24. And then how much a Sucker Punch from Adamant Life Orb Emboar does to his Reuniclus set. The roll was in my favor. How much in my favor, I'm not entirely sure. If somebody smarter than me, or somebody who's good in math, wants to somehow figure that out, then that would be wonderful. But regardless, the roll was in my favor. How much, I'm not sure. Couple plays that I should have definitely done differently. Really just one that I think. When I was in versus Azumarill, or when I switched into Azumarill on Reuniclus as Reuniclus set up Trick Room, I 100% should have clicked Aqua Jet so that Sucker Punch from Emboar was a guaranteed kill. I don't know why I was thinking this, but I was kind of afraid he would be like a Trick Room Acid Armor set with like Recover and then like mono attacking Psychic, except I already saw Thunder. No, I didn't see Thunder because it was after my Azumarill was already in. So definitely should have clicked Aqua Jet, because then Sucker Punch would not have been a roll, just would have clean knocked him out, and I would have won the game in a lot more of a relaxed fashion, I suppose. And then a play that I could have done differently, but I don't think I would do it if given the chance again, was when it was Azumarill versus Lopunny, after Lopunny lived the Focus Blast, was on a sliver of health. I could have gone into my Azumarill, would have been at about 88% after taking the Rocks damage, and instead of going for Aqua Jet, I could have gone for Play Rough, taken a return, knock it out, and then he can't go into his Gastrodon because Gastrodon went down to a Play Rough from where it was at, and it would have done massive damage to the Reuniclus. He was max HP, he was not defensive. Max HP, max special attack, Life Orb was his set, so Play Rough would have done massive damage, again would have knocked it out with Emboar Sucker Punch, so that could have been a play that I could have made, but I didn't, because if I missed Play Rough, then Lopunny just kind of had a fun time with my team, and I didn't want that to happen. So I definitely am fine with that play. The big one is just not going for Aqua Jet on Reuniclus, because even though, again, it was in my favor, it was not a 100% chance to happen for me in that way, and we all know how Pokemon works, where if it's not a 100% chance to happen, it's going to happen at some point, but we were lucky enough to get the roll in our favor, and we were lucky enough to knock it out. So thank you guys very much for watching. John, that was an absolutely incredible match. I thought I had it, and then you really scared me, and then I had to not get unlucky in order to win. And a lot of times Pokemon doesn't give you that satisfaction of not being unlucky. But regardless, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next battle. We are going up against Lars, actually, of the Borussia Dawn fan, Borussia, whatever. So hope you're looking forward to that, and I will see you then.